powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
Somewhere Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems.
चुन चुन करके हिसाब लेना ये मेरी फितरत है.
Why should it be a problem if I'm smart enough to have multiple options? You should be admiring me.
भारत झुकने वाला भी नहीं.
The rise of India will be determined by India. It will be determined by our strength, not by the mistakes of others.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Why China fears Prime Minister Modi's West Bengal advantage. Now, see, Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah, Home Minister Amit Shah, they're putting serious focus on West Bengal, even though there are other assembly elections going on too, like in Tamil Nadu and all that. But their focus is 200%. It's not even 100%, 200% on West Bengal. In fact, so much so that Home Minister Amit Shah is staying in West Bengal. So the question really is why? I mean, right? This is just a state election. So why is New Delhi treating West Bengal like something much bigger? And I think that lots of people will say that, oh, it's just a state politics, TMC versus BJP, or votes, power, 2029 calculations and all that. But I think that all that is just the surface. And I think that winning the West Bengal election is a lot more than what we see on the surface, okay? Because for India overall, the central government of India, the West Bengal is not just about the politics, okay? It's about national security, it's about economic security, it's about controlling Bharat's eastern gateway. Now, we all know that what has been going on since 2024, right? And just recently, Arthur Van Dyke and 6 other Ukrainians were caught in Meghalaya, right? And lots of insurgencies and lots of other separatist activities has been going up in that part. And also what Mamata Banerjee was doing was a whole another thing. And we will talk about all that in this video, okay? So controlling the Northeast, controlling the economic security, maintaining the national security, all that good stuff. Behind all of that is one larger challenge, and that challenge is China. An even bigger challenge than that is the 0.5 front that is from within India. And I'm going to talk about all that today. Okay, so stay with me till then. Please do like and subscribe. Okay, and this is why this election matters far beyond Kolkata or just West Bengal or some assembly election. Okay, and this is why China fears Prime Minister Modi's West Bengal advantage, because once BJP gets into West Bengal, then the whole entire Northeast equation will change. So guys, if you enjoy geopolitical videos that go beyond headlines and explain the real system underneath, then this is the channel for you, okay? And please do like this video and subscribe to the channel, and let's break this whole thing down, okay? Let's get going. Let's get started. All right, so West Bengal controls India's eastern gateway. That's the reason number one. That is the geography. Now, West Bengal controls the Siliguri Corridor. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. And this is like the narrow land bridge connecting mainland of India to the entire Northeast. And let me share my slide real quick right here. And at its narrowest point, it is only around 20 to 22 kilometers wide. And this is why it is called India's chicken neck. Okay. And if you look into it closely, then you will find what exactly depends on it. Like nearly 45 to 50 million people across the 8 northeastern states, they depend on this connection for land access to mainland Bharat. Okay, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Sikkim, Tripura, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, all this, it's all part of that one particular chicken neck. That's what basically chicken neck is, what connects this whole thing. Now, if you look into the map, you find this right here, right? This part, the green part here, okay? Right there, that's the chicken neck. Now, see, here is the twist in the story though. Okay. When you look at the chicken neck, the general impression among the people is that, oh, the main threat is China for it. Okay. Yes, China is it is a threat. Yes, whenever a country that is stronger and nuclear power and second largest economy, all actually first largest economy, all that. I mean, the largest economy, all that good stuff is there, and it's in your neighborhood, and you have been at war with that country once. Then yes, that country is a threat, of course. But do you know that chicken neck problem is not just a China? I mean, China is not the problem for the chicken neck, quite frankly, if you ask me. Okay. Chicken neck is at risk because of India's own internal threats. Okay. Because whatever Mamata Banerjee was doing in the West Bengal to change the demography and all that, hmm, that's what was causing even bigger problem. How do you think Bangladesh got so much encouragement? Okay, encouragement to do all this stuff against Hindus and all that was done in 2024, 2020 after the regime change. It was all because of the West Bengal. Okay, lots of things are internal. They stay with the security agencies, the intelligence and all that. They stay there. They never come out. But once you started to dig deep little bit more, okay, do some research, then you find what exactly was going on. Okay. And so the way population was growing, the jihadi population was growing, and the way illegal immigrants were being, brought into West Bengal. What's the guarantee that after some time, uh, Mamata Banerjee wasn't gonna go and use that to actually get her way, whatever she wanted to do. Right? Yes, lots of people will say that, oh, Article 350 says and government and this and that. How are you going to control a jihadi population with Article 356? Not just that. Not just that. Okay. See, uh, the way things are going in Mizoram and all that in the northeast. Okay, China started to again claim Arunachal, then Mizoram, there was lots of things going on. The Manipur, there were lots of things going on. Now imagine all this along with West Bengal jihadi population making a mess. Do you really think that Siliguri Corridor, the chicken neck, would be safe? This is why West Bengal's election is very important. This is why uh, China fears Prime Minister Modi and BJP's lead and victory in the West Bengal. Why? Because this is gonna kill their agenda once and for all. Okay, and that's what it is. Now, if you look into it, like then that I just talked about the threat. Okay, but if you look into it a little bit more, then to counter China, okay, to counter China, everything moves through this route. The military convoys, then fuel supply, then rail cargo, food movement, civilian transport, emergency logistics, you just name it, everything goes through this Siliguri corridor. So it's not just some random road or some just a piece of land or something. This is the strategic spine of the eastern India. And at this point, I think the danger is pretty obvious for everyone. And even so, we talked about. I mean, we talked about what the point five angle at first, right? Now let me explain you the China angle. If China can create pressure near Doklam, like China did that, right? Sikkim or Bhutan sector, indirectly it actually threatens the security around this corridor. This is why India was very serious about the Doklam and all that. Okay, so the whole entire 2017 Doklam standoff that happened, that's why it mattered to India. Okay, it was just never just about Bhutan. Yes, India wants Bhutan because Bhutan leaving India, meaning that you are again, that part is again in the neighborhood of China, and Bhutan leaving India, meaning that China is going to even make more claims on the Arunachal Pradesh. So you have to understand that, okay? This is China's strategy, okay? China doesn't really care about the Arunachal Pradesh as a land even. China has whatever little bit China has done, but China wants to just create enough tension so that your neighbors, your enemies, or your competitor, let's just say competitors, okay, your competitors, your rivals are always on the edge, okay, and this is called fear tactics, okay. That's the tactics Chinese apply everywhere. There's same tactics they're applying with Russia, there's same tactics they're applying with any other country, and the same tactics they're applying with India too. So if this corridor is vulnerable, the Northeast becomes vulnerable, right? And this is why BJP sees Bengal as national security, not just some random state politics. Okay? So that's what it is. Now, reason number two is that West Bengal is the mainland base for Andaman strategy. And this is our second reason, that is a maritime power. See, most people think that India's China strategy is only for Himalayan border. That is completely wrong. Okay, let me actually share my slide real quick with you. Okay, now from my slide, you can see that China has three-sided encirclement of Siliguri Corridor. That's very important for you to know. On the north side, Nepal, BRI infrastructure pushing into Nepal, inching towards Siliguri's northern flank. Okay, you can look at the map here, right here. This is, you see that this is Nepal. BRI will it automatically come here. This is why for India, Nepal also matters. Okay, you have to understand this. This is very, very important what I'm telling you. All right. So, and then on the east side of it is Bangladesh. Bangladesh, like Tista River Management Project. Let me share it again. Okay. Tista River Management Project, China funded infrastructure sitting on Bengal's eastern border. Okay. We know Bangladesh where it is. Chittagong port being developed as a potential Chinese naval logistics node. Okay. Then we have southeast Myanmar problem, right? China controls the Kayapuku deep sea port, Bay of Bengal's access Myanmar's coast. And that is something that India has been, along with CIA, has been trying to stop this thing for quite some time. Which is basically the China CMEC corridor. Okay. That is China Myanmar Economic Corridor, just like China was working on CPEC corridor. Okay, then you have BCIM corridor, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar would land Chinese infrastructure at Siliguri. You have to understand these things. Okay, this is so important. Like right here, see, this is Myanmar right here. So China, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, all these are the problems. Okay. So, so in nutshell, China is trying to encircle the whole Siliguri from where? How? Nepal, then Bangladesh, then Myanmar. So all this work is being done very strategically, okay? Because unless China gets the access into the Bay of Bengal, China is not going to stop. And even then also, your neighbor, that is your rival, that is becoming stronger, you want them weak. Okay, that's the strategy. So now let's get into this thing a little bit more. Okay, that West Bengal is the mainland base for Andaman strategy, right? So, Andaman Nicobar, when we talk about that, then it is a huge part in the Indian Ocean. And if you look into it, then Andaman Nicobar, just to give you the perspective here, okay? Andaman Nicobar is actually bigger than Goa. Andaman Nicobar is bigger than Singapore as a country. Okay, so think about it, how important Andaman Nicobar is for India. Okay, and because it is important, so for India to, let me show you in the map once again. Okay, so you see Andaman Nicobar is right here, and that this is West Bengal right here. So from here to here, this is the thing that India wants. India wants this state so that India can establish its ports here, deep sea ports here, and then directly go into here. Okay, and from here, India can make this as a maritime port, and from here, when India makes this as a maritime port and logistics and radar tracking and all that, then from here India can actually keep track of all the straits and everything. India can actually make this a logistics hub. So from here, all these ports that are here, you have to understand this thing, that back in old days when India was a maritime power, okay, then in those days, all this part, entire peninsula right here was loaded with ports, ports after ports after ports, okay? And that is the ultimate goal here, all right? And this is why, because of Andaman, West Bengal becomes even more important, all right? So this is why I just wanted you to understand the importance of this whole thing, okay? So Andaman Nicobar is not just symbolic thing. It is also India's only tri-services military command, integrated army, navy, and air force. These operations are done from Port Blair. You can go look it up, check it out. Okay, and I just explained it to you why it's that important, why it is so important. It's because of the Malacca Strait, and nearly 80% of the Chinese imported oil passes through Malacca Strait and surrounding sea lanes. So this is why lots of strategists call it Malacca dilemma. Okay, China's economy depend on that route. But here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Now it's not all doom and gloom. Lots of people may think that it's all doom and gloom. What I'm talking about. See, after 2035, I think my calculation tells me that Indian Ocean overall will become less important for China. It will be more of an optional route than a mandatory thing. Okay, why? Because of the Arctic. It will be more economical for China to take the Arctic rather than the Indian Ocean. Okay, because by 2035 summer ice will melt, and once that happens, then for China, unless China just wants to create nuisance in that region, then that's a different story. But just for the Indian Ocean, China, I don't think is going to get involved into any kind of conflict with another superpower, that is India. Okay, so that's just not going to happen. Now, so I explained you all that, right? Then lots of other things are there, like some more numbers, like even economically. I mean, if you want to look into serious economic numbers for this, then there is a Syama Prasad Mukherjee port, Kolkata. It handles over 64 million metric tons of cargo from April 2025 to February 2026. That is a serious number, guys. The one port, 64 million metric ton in 1 year. And Haldia Dock Complex alone handled nearly 47 million metric tons in the same period. You can go check it out on the government website. So Bengal is not just the state, it is the mainland support system for India's maritime pressure point against China. And historically also, when you look into the history of India, you find that British entered India through West Bengal. Okay, West Bengal for a long time, Kolkata used to be the capital. All right, so there are lots of important historically, past, present, and future depends on West Bengal. Okay, and with all the land and water mass and all that India has to control everything, to get leverage all that, West Bengal becomes very important. Okay, so there is that. Now let's move forward. Okay, and third reason is economic security, because power is not only in military. We also know this thing. Its main thing is the trade route, supply chain, ports, and connectivity and all that. And West Bengal is Bharat's eastern commercial gateway. For India to come finish its BIMSTEC corridor and all that, West Bengal is very, very important. India's Prime Minister Modi's actually primary goal was to create the corridor from New Delhi to UP to Bihar, then West Bengal into Northeast. In fact, there was a plan for uh, a bullet train all the way to the Northeast too. Okay, and West Bengal, we talked about the connectivity. It connects the mainland Bharat to what? Bangladesh, the northeast, then Bay of Bengal trade routes, and Myanmar access, future Southeast Asia corridors, that is BIMSTEC and all that, right? So that's why West Bengal more matters even more so. Now let me share my slide real quick, okay? So now here's the thing. West Bengal is the launchpad port. It port, rail, river routes, land ports, Bangladesh. I mean, we talked about all that, right? So we have Kaladan Corridor, Calcutta Sitwe Port, Myanmar by sea, then river and road towards Mizoram, right? An alternative northeast entry route, cutting Siliguri dependence. So Kaladan and all that will start from where? Kolkata. Okay, how? I mean, you can look into the map. So what they are basically talking about is in the map, if you see. So what they're talking about is from here. Okay, from here and then to I think here, somewhere around here. Okay, so let's go back over there, and then you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Um, in Myanmar, yeah. So from Kolkata to Myanmar, and then from there to the northeast. Okay. So there are multiple routes doctrine is there. West Bengal to Bay of Bengal, Southeast Asia, West Bengal to Bangladesh, to Northeast, Kolkata, Sitwe, Mizoram, Kaladan Sea River, Northeast to ASEAN, Act East final leg. Okay. This is why now you see from economic point of view also West Bengal is very, very important. Now, let's see some more economic numbers here. Okay, so from the numbers point of view, the West Bengal's economic weight. Look at that, 64 million metric tons. This is Kolkata port cargo from in within 1 year. Then 46.99 is Haldia Dock complex. Okay, India and Bangladesh land port trade is 71,000 crore rupees in 1 year from 2023 to 2024. Okay, so that's how important West Bengal is. Okay, so now let's come back here. So to complete all these corridors, to complete India's Sagarmala project, to complete, to watch over the Andaman Nicobar and all that, your West Bengal is not just about some assembly election. Okay, so it is something so important then that it's like it's, I mean, this, I think that it's very important state from many things, because deep see, to make the deep sea port also, you just don't go on anything, any land that connects to the water. If you have a natural landmass that is good for a deep sea port, then it is actually very economical, and West Bengal has that. Okay, so so West Bengal becomes important from land security, maritime security, economic security. Okay, and not just that, West Bengal has a jihadi population, so that needs to be put under control. All that needs to be taken care of. Otherwise, Siliguri Corridor, I don't know about China, but the jihadi population will definitely sabotage the whole entire national security of India. Okay, so this is not just another state election. This is about who controls Bharat's eastern strategic structure. Okay, and once you understand that, then whole picture changes. It's not about Chinese threat. Yeah, Chinese threat is always there, is always gonna be there, but it's more about the internal threats, and most of those internal threats are concentrated in those regions. Okay, the regions that Mamta Banerjee is not doing anything about. Okay, so West Bengal is another thing, another ball game. So it is one of the most important pieces in India's China strategy. Okay, so this is it for this video, guys. Please do like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in another video. Take care.